Hi, my name is Janine Simonson. I'm here to tell you a story. A few years ago, I was having difficulty with some things and just needed a break. I drove to this church building not far from where I lived. I pulled into the parking lot and thought I'm just going to relax and take a breather. It was while I was here that I realized that running up and down along this fence was a mother duck and 7 or 8 ducklings. Running up and down, which I thought was rather comical. But then I realized she was still running and she was exhausted. Birds were trying to get at the ducklings and she would cover them. And it didn't take me long to realize she was looking for a place through the chain link fence so she could get to the other side. So I walked along this fence line until I came to about this place right here below this tree, where the tree itself had pulled away the chain link fence and created a hole. So I decided I was going to get her down here. And the only way to do that was to run after her, flapping my wings and encouraging her. I'm sure it was terrifying. She didn't know where she was going, and she didn't know if I was somebody that she could trust. And I prayed that she would know that I was a good person that was trying to help her. Eventually, we made it down here. And she did get through the fence, climbed through that hole, and she was on the other side. That's when I realized that she was on the other side, but the ducks were still here. And you can see a bit of a lip there, kind of a curb. The ducklings could not get up. They were too little. And the mother was going crazy, and I was heartbroken because I was the one who had done all this. I tried to go to them to lift them up, but they ran away every time. I prayed to know what and anything that I could do. That's when I saw this fire pit behind me. And at the time, there were some 2x4s laying on top of it. I decided to take the 2x4s and I was going to put them up against that little curb and they could climb up a ramp and get through. But in the 10 seconds it took for me to turn away and then turn back, the ducklings were gone. They were on the other side with their mother. 10 seconds later. And I knew there was no way that all 7 of them could have jumped up and gotten through. The only explanation I have is that it was a miracle. I felt so privileged to have been a part of that, especially because I had caused so much anxiety for this mother and the ducklings. When the Jaredites were crossing the promised land, there was a wind that never did cease to blow, a furious wind that kept pushing them and pushing them. I wasn't thrilled to have been that furious wind for the mother duck and her ducklings, but it was for their own good. Sometimes when we have furious winds that just keep blowing, it's for our good as well. Heavenly Father is taking us where He wants to go. Heavenly Father knew that mother and her ducklings needed to get through to the other side, and they needed to be together, and He provided the way. And He will do the same for you and for me. Sometimes it takes that furious wind. We can trust it as we put our trust in Him. We will be led to where we need to go. So until next time, always keep your eye on the one who loves you most. Ciao.